Welcome back, viewers. Let's take a look at the latest news break that we are tracking. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has responded to the United States President Donald Trump's post on India. He has stated that he deeply appreciates and fully reciprocates the President Trump's sentiment and positive assessment on the India-US ties. India and the US have a very positive and forward-looking, comprehensive and global strategic partnership, is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has stated. All right. Now, joining me live on the broadcast is a distinguished guest, Ms. Shruti Das Gupta, who's a senior foreign affairs expert. Thank you very much, Ms. Shruti, for joining us live on this morning. Now, right now, when we see these developments coming in from United States, Donald Trump statements have come in marking a rather strange turn in the events after his initial response to the India, China and Russia bonhomie. How does one decode how and what is going in Trump's mind?
It's very difficult for any political pundit to go forth and decode what Trump speaks about. I don't think anybody in the US can claim to do so effectively, and neither do I profess that I can understand what is cooking right there in White House. But what I can tell you is that this looks like an off-ramp situation where the political speakers from the White House were very busy using Modi's war, Brahmin terminology, and a lot of other words to put pressure, public pressure on India to bow to the tariffs and stop buying from Russia. And when they say, when Trump realized that this is pushing US and China into two separate corners, and India is being forced to pick one, and the SCO summit seemed to indicate that India is open to all options. This is an off-ramp situation where he extended an olive branch by saying that, you know, there's no difficulty in our ties with USA, between USA and India. We are pretty okay, and I'll always respect Modi. And PM Modi, in his term, has appreciated the fact that he is not completely anti-India. And this looks good for India because we do know that Pakistan has got its tenterhooks into the administration in USA with the cryptocurrency and everything else. And we want to ensure that we have a place to speak in the White House and its policies so that it is not completely dominated by a very hostile neighbor. And as we have, like, USA is the largest trading partner, exports partner for India. 20% of our exports go to USA. So we do want something to work out. We just don't want it to be under the bully tag and the unfair tariff that was put on us. So we would like it to come to an end. This exchange seems to show that both leaders are trying to put their egos and personal feelings aside and look towards a better cooperation. But I don't think India should be very hopeful, because we've seen just yesterday Howard Lutnick telling that India is going to come and say sorry, and they're going to agree to all the tariffs, and the deal would be within the next 2 months on Donald Trump's desk. So I think either US
I understand how you are in fact decoding the entire genesis of these developments. For one to understand how exactly these turn of events has happened, it would be more complex than you and me can rather try to simplify it. But at the same time, you know, when we see that at one point Peter Navarro's needling of India comes. Then another time we see Donald Trump saying and talking to reporters and saying that he will always be friends with Modi. What does this signal to? Is the United States in a perpetual state of confusion in how to really balance the act of dealing with India?
Well, I go back to what Churchill once said, although he's not my favorite world leader, but he did say United States will eventually do the right thing after they've tried everything else. So this is exactly what I think is happening. They've tried everything else. They've put the tariffs. They've tried to bully us into it. They've tried to push us into a corner. And when they've realized that nothing works, then it is better to put away our egos, kind of be gracious about the relationships that can probably come forth, and realize that while USA is pushing India away, The free trade agreement with Europe is going to come through. EU is going to come through. There's a free trade agreement with UK specifically. We have 100 billion business with Africa coming forth. China is trying to open its markets. So when you realize that India has options, USA realizes that India is their only option as of now. So they are trying to woo it back in, and India doesn't put its ego on the table where we are open to it as long as it meets our interests and needs.
Absolutely. Ms. Shruti Das Gupta, thank you very much. Appreciate you like always for decoding the complex substances about the United States and the foreign policy here at Newsix. And now we move forward. More than 10 days after the US tariffs have come into force, Donald Trump has made a sudden shift in his tone towards India. After several bold claims, as he has imposed a whopping 50% tariffs against India, the US president has in fact softened his stance. Now, in a turn of events, speaking on relations with India, Donald Trump has stated that he will always be friends with PM Modi, adding that India and the United States have a special relationship. Interestingly, Donald Trump's sudden change of heart comes after PM Modi's visit to China for the SCO summit, where he not only held bilaterals with Russia and China, but also had discussed the trade with the two nations, which in an official response did not fare well with the United States President Donald Trump. Meanwhile, PM Modi has also responded to Trump's statement, highlighting the forward-looking, comprehensive and the global strategic partnership between India and the US. Well, on that note, in fact, Donald Trump has once said that he has lost India to Russia and China. Now, on that, let's get the latest from my colleague Aditya Wadhaw. And Aditya, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi has responded to the Trump statements, what more are you tracking?
Absolutely. You understand that, Trump has been now, making a U-turn as far as his statements is concerned. He says that he wants good relations with India, and he was looking forward to the presence of India at the UNGA session that is set to take place in New York. However, at this juncture, it needs to be seen. There are reports coming out that Prime Minister will not travel to United States for the UNGA, whereas Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar will travel to the States. So now it needs to be seen, how things unfold in this scenario. Simran.